Welcome, our fellow lovers of love, and thank you for joining us on yet another excursion through the stream of consciousness down the river of tranquility to fill the lake of life with love.
Good evening, our fellow lovers of love, and thank you for joining us tonight. I know we haven't been around for the last few weeks, and it's because the Late Night Love family suffered a tragedy, and we're not going to go into details because it's private. But you know, loss is something that happens in life, and you have to deal with it, and sadly you have to kind of get your feet back under you and move on. And, you know, and life becomes about those who's left. And it's nothing that's ever easy to deal with. It's never easy to deal with. Loss of any kind isn't easy to deal with, but it must be. Otherwise, it's not. And when you don't deal with things, you know what happens. It gets worse. So, anyway, so we appreciate your understanding for the last week or so as we kind of disappeared for a week. We had, you know, family issues to deal with. Okay. And so as we were going through, we got the last week planned, and you know, sometimes it's actually best to just kind of dive into something, I don't want to say frivolous, something fun, but something that's not so heavy when you have to pick your feet back up, pick up something that's not so heavy and run with it. So it's actually a good topic this week. We're talking about the marijuana. You know, it's kind of our I should have called it our Cheech and Chong night, but we don't want any copyright claims or anything.
No.
Get through those. You back away from this thing. And then you get ready to it, so I adjust it this way, and then you back away, and it's always, anyway. No wonder it's always hard to get it balanced. All right.
I'll try to speak louder.
Well, now it's just going to sound weird.
Okay.
It's projecting without speaking louder, but that's a whole different thing. Or you could just, you know, sit up closer to the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that would actually work. It looked funny, but it would work for the sound. All right. So we've got kind of the benefits, the hows, the difference between THC, CBDs, and we'll talk about Indica and Sativa. If I remember my reading of this article back from 2 weeks ago now when we first started it, I think the guy's off as a rocker. And then we go into our Lubby's dive into Reddit, which is always fun. So let's just get started right off the bat. Which one is it? I had the wrong one.
10 reasons to keep smoking weed.
All right, so hit him up. What you got? No, the 10 reasons from that was a different one. I've got my other stuff here. First time. Go ahead. There it goes.
Okay, well, for one thing, weed is almost as old as humanity. Unlike other vices, cannabis has been around for 28 million years, making it the oldest psychoactive substance out there.
Well, humans have always been looking for something to, shall we say, alter their experience for one reason or another. And I think we can't discount that need. All right. So, again, that's why we've talked about why do people smoke weed? For lots of reasons, right? From recreational to religious to, you know, medicine in one form or another. So it's a very versatile, shall we say, plant. Like a lot of nature is very versatile depending upon how you choose to use it. So
it can lower your blood pressure.
So there's your tip number one. Cannabis can lower your blood pressure. We'll pull this up. Let's go. Oops. There it goes. Can lower your blood pressure. All right, okay. That's good. Number two.
Weed can help with anxiety and panic attacks.
yes, if you smoke the right kind. If you smoke the wrong kind, it can go the other way, but that is the truth. Okay?
It can help you manage your weight, even lose it.
Well, it gives me the munchies. But
Gives me the munchies, but I've heard great things, especially with CBD.
yeah, again, if you're using it properly and you know your usage case, that's something that you have to use it properly to do. I would suspect you can't just be a recreational user and expect it to be.
Right. That's under a direction of a medical care provider.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need some help with that.
Yeah, because generic weed usage is going to make you get the munchies, not. So you have to be specific how you use it. Very careful. Okay. Marijuana makes a natural great painkiller. As someone who uses it for pain, I don't actually think it kills pain so much as you don't care so much about the pain. But again, just like Tylenol or whatever, your mileage may vary.
We use creams too
Yes, the creams
for
and
your calves.
ointments. Makes you more productive and creative. It can, again.
It can.
Depending upon your uses. I don't want to throw any.
Sativa does that more to me than Indica.
Well, for me, it actually slows my head down. The Indica slows my head down, so in a sense I can focus a little better than I can without it from the anxiety issues. So again, but it's entirely dependent on how you're a person and how you use it. And before we go any further, we're not recommending anybody start using any substances. I'm going to give this audience the same lecture I gave my children, is life is difficult enough. You're better off not touching anything that alters your state. And getting through life is hard, but of course we are humans and we do things to do that. Even adrenaline junkies they're behaving that way to alter their mental state. And so we can't deny that it's a cause, but it's a part of human nature. But it does make life harder. Lots of things make life harder, so you have to make your choices. Be responsible. The more responsible you are with your choices, the more responsible you are with your choices. So that's all. No one thing will ruin your life, but you start stacking things on top of each other without being responsible. Or you stack too many things on top of each other, even if you are responsible. You can only carry so much. So, just saying. As always, especially to the younger people out there, stuff does catch up to you later on. So, I'm not going to lecture you on that because you ain't going to listen to me anyway. But I'm just saying. All right. Just the disclaimer here, right? Everybody's kind of, your mileage may vary, and it will vary greatly depending upon your personality and how you choose to use it or not.
Yes, it's very individual.
Yeah, okay.
We can be quite good for the brain. It appears that apparently studies show information appears to travel faster in a regular cannabis user's brain than in a non-user.
Cannabis makes you more energetic is the next one, which I personally, I'm not entirely sure I agree with. But again, it's the type you use and the personality and whatnot. Because if I smoke sativas, most sativas just make me anxious. And so I have to smoke indicas, and indicas do not give me energy. I kind of have to fight against it. But that's why you microdose during the day, or until you don't smoke very much. If you need to be active and you're dealing with anxiety, Okay. Keeps you healthier.
Cannabis makes you more energetic. Sativa does.
Yeah, we just did that.
For me, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, marijuana makes you healthier.
Sorry, I'm screwing with everybody's back and forth. I forgot that I was doing my screen.
It covers a lot of health issues, and we go into that more later today.
Okay. helps insomnia. This is true. If you need some sleep and you have trouble sleeping, get something that couch locks you, and you're all good.
And number 20, weed is fun.
Yeah. Well, it can be. Or it can be medicine, or it can be a combination of both. But like anything that's fun, you be careful. And, moderation. Just like, video games are fun, but, you spend too much time in video games, you can lose connection to the outside world. Social media is fun, but you can lose yourself into it. There's all kinds of things that are fun that you don't necessarily want to over-engage in.
Yes.
And so that's the key, I think, is you want to make sure we're responsible with these types of choices and decisions we have to make, right? I think that's one of the keys. Okay. So the next one is, Lubby had queued up here, right, was 61 potential benefits of marijuana. Now, we're not going to go through 61. I think we've got, 10 or 11 queued up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's go to that. Oh, add that. God dang it, I keep hitting the wrong one. Okay. So, legalization may be related to a decrease in traffic fatalities. More people are staying home smoking pot than going out drinking, maybe.
Yes.
I think is probably the key there. This one, this is going to be almost impossible. I'm very skeptical on the second one, but it was pulled off. Legalization may be related to a reduction in the use in the rates of homicide and assault. There's so many factors in that trying to decipher that is I wouldn't actually ever go there.
But they're saying it may. The numbers are, so far, it's still pretty early in the game, but...
Well, if you're talking about, because you're removing it from the street gangs and putting it into stores, there's an argument there. But the street gangs are just going to move somewhere else, do something else. And so ultimately, I kind of doubt you're going to have much of a change there. Maybe changing who the victims are, but I don't think you're actually going to change, ultimately, much of the desire, which is the fundamental driver. Okay, regulating marijuana results in increase in revenue and savings for states and counties. Well, savings, but in California, they completely screwed up the legal. It actually cost them money because of the way because
only California can do that.
Yeah, only California can screw up weed. They had to spend like $100 million here because it was so complicated to get a license to open a weed shop. Nobody did, and just continued selling in the black market, which means they didn't get any tax money. And anyway, if they'd have lowered taxes and made it easier, they could have made a heck of a lot more money. Except they didn't, because they wanted to control every little aspect. Anyway, I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole. Okay, because a lot of these I'm going to have to bite my tongue on a lot of these to jump off from going down a political rabbit hole. Legalizing marijuana can lead to socioeconomic improvement in disadvantaged communities. And again, the key word is there can, as long as the right policies are in place. That often means removing policies that often restrict who can participate and where they can participate. Neighborhoods like ours don't have any pot shops despite the fact that they were the ones who took the brunt of the war on crime, the war on drugs. And, and it's hard for people who have a criminal background selling drugs, who are probably selling weed, who are the most logical people to continue to do so. It's because they have a record, they can't participate, and so you end up with big moneyed interests. You're just going to end up with the Starbucks of marijuana, which is already happening here in town. So it's just one of those things. So it depends how you allow it to evolve, how it's allowed to evolve. You can't overdose on marijuana, which is Well, you can overdose, but it's never going to kill you.
You think you can't, but I've been with people, my sister, God, that was so much fun. I told her not to eat half the cookie. I said eat a third. And she eats half. And she ends up over there. I can't breathe. I'm not breathing. My heart stopped.
No.
Stop it.
You're breathing and your heart is pounding because you're talking to me. Stop it.
Okay, what did we do? We decided to Say Yes to the Dress.
Man, yeah.
We just got lost in wedding gowns.
If you ever think that you've eaten too much pot, all you really have to do, and that's how you actually overdose. The only way you can actually overdose is by eating it. You can't overdose by smoking it. It's freaking impossible. You just can't.
No.
It's just not possible.
No, it's not possible.
But you can't eat too many brownies, right? Just kind of sit there and munch away, and you can make yourself ill from eating too many brownies. You know, it's not, you can make yourself physically ill. You can, but you're not overdosing. That's just because you ate too many brownies, and the pot butter doesn't mix well when you eat too many of them. and because you're not controlling your dosage, you're off on whatever trip you're off on. And I want to get off. Well, sorry, you should have only ate one. Should have eaten 5.
So now you're down for 8 hours.
So now you're down for 12 hours, depending upon your tolerance levels, and you might as well just take a nap. Just take a nap. Take a Mylanta and a nap, because that's about that'll take care of your problems, you know? Get some sleep. If you're really kind of a lightweight, you may have to sleep for a whole day, but you'll be fine in 24 hours. It's that kind of thing. Unlike alcohol, which is actually poison. It's literally poison.
Yes.
So, you know, it's not, you're actually not poisoning yourself. You're not going to die from it. You just have no clue what you're doing. Because you're an overly high moron. All right, so next is, what was the next one?
CBD could help you stop smoking cigarettes.
Uh-huh. Well, anything actually can, if you can use a joint to actually help you stop the desire to smoke, yes, if it's the physical habit is a problem.
They were talking about CBD.
Yes, I know, but other ways can help too.
The anxiety, I think.
Maybe. Okay.
It can help eliminate nightmares associated with PTSD.
Not by itself, but yes, it can be a part of a program. Okay.
It can help with obsessive compulsive disorder.
Part of a treatment program. Okay.
Can prevent brain damage after strokes and trauma.
That's interesting. It doesn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me, but I'd like to, see more about that. Okay.
It could help with malaria. That was unusual. I didn't know that.
And THC reduces the infectivity of the herpes virus, which is interesting. Of course, reduces isn't necessarily does.
And if you want to hear more, go to our website, and there is a article, 61 potential benefits of marijuana.
Yeah, you can always find information that we talk about here on the website, latenightLove.us. You can go there, and all the information is posted on the website. All right, so next on the Lubby's list here for putting the show together. Excuse me. Your first time marijuana dispensary visit.
So you've decided you're going to give it a try.
Now, I remember our first time we went into a marijuana dispensary. Because we're from the old days where you had to go to the street corners or know somebody to buy pot.
You didn't go to a stinking store. You went to somebody's house.
Yeah, or if you're lucky, or not, you went down to the apartment complex and you drove around it until someone came out and multiple ways to do it. Not that that was very safe, but there's multiple ways. But we didn't get to go to no store with decked out with plants growing and marijuana on the shelves all over the place. Yeah, it's quite a different experience.
It smells wonderful.
It's quite a different experience than what.
First time I walked in, it was a little overwhelming. So much weed, so free. They had a couch in there. I had to sit down for a minute.
I just go and give me something purple. That's all I ask for. Just give me something purple.
And that's the first thing about going to a dispensary is they are going to have bud tenders in-house to help you. You are not on your own. They are very knowledgeable, happy to help. That's their job, and they like it.
Yep. So the first thing, you got your checklist. Depending upon your location, your documentation. If it's a legal recreational state, you probably need an ID. If it's a medical state or a medical dispensary, you need your medical proof, whether it's your iCard or whatever it is.
Or your letter, however your state handles that.
Yep. You could do some research. I don't know. Do they still have weed maps?
I don't know if they still have weed maps or not.
Heck, you can probably find them on Yelp or something. I don't know. We've been using the same delivery people for forever. I don't even know if I would have to find a new one. We'd have to find a new one. That would be terrible.
That would be bad. We've been using the same ones for years.
Yeah. So, but anyway, be careful. Ask your friends. Ask around. Or just go to the one local to you. They're all kind of the same, depending upon your personal wants. Maybe you want a fancy dancy one, all hip, slick, and cool. You can find one of those. Maybe you want one that's more, say homegrown. You can find some of those. Or maybe you've only got one in your area, and that's what you're going to get.
We use a delivery service. I order off an app on my phone, and it's delivered in about an hour.
Yeah. It's faster than, sometimes it's faster than like Postmates delivery or, food delivery. So there's that. The wait, and then you've got like the dispensary. It's kind of, in some dispensaries, at least here in California, most dispensaries here in California, you have to go to like a waiting area. It's kind of like a doctor's office type thing. So you've got the outer patient area, and then you got the inner service area. And,
because they limit how many people is back in amongst the weed at one time. Whether it's security or whether there's some kind of regulation.
Yeah, well, it's
I don't know what it is.
Well, it's a regulation, but you're going to have a kind of a check-in period, and you have two waiting rooms essentially. You got an exterior waiting room and the internal waiting room and service area. So, request information. Yeah, ask questions. Especially if you're first time, don't be afraid to ask questions. Those people like to talk. They're high, so.
They'd love to talk about weed.
Yeah, that's what they're there for. That's what they're paid for. Yeah, oh, and in a lot of places you have to bring cash. So make sure you have cash with you.
You can call ahead, see if they have an ATM.
Just bring cash with you. Just bring cash. And you don't have to buy anything if there's nothing you want.
You do not.
I know it feels awkward, but it's just like, sometimes you go into a store and you decide, there's nothing I want. It's the same thing. You don't have to buy anything if you want. Now, maybe if you'd say, there's nothing I want, but you want to buy a pre-roll joint just to give them throw them a few bucks, I wouldn't be ungrateful. They wouldn't be ungrateful for that. They would appreciate the thought. All right. And then, and at that point, now you have to experience. And if you're first one, you should probably buy a little bit of a bunch of different weeds. They should give you sampler packs.
They should.
And so you can kind of try and see what works
but
for you.
What will happen is you tell the bud tender your issue. And they will make a recommendation, and they will give you some options. And it's customary to smell it. I personally believe that my body wants what smells good. That's what it needs. So that's what I go with.
Yeah, I go for purples, things that have the purple strain in it, because those tend to be, for me, anti-anxiety. They're usually indicas and they're anti-anxiety. And that's what I tell them for, insomnia and anti-anxiety. And so that is, for me, it ends up with indicas, and that's usually in the purples, for me. I don't know, purples, purple kush, or granddaddy purple, all those things kind of work best for those, for me. And again, this is the tricky part. Your mileage will vary. Not
yes,
may vary.
It will. It will vary.
Yeah, it's not a may vary. It's a well vary. It well vary. It's not a may vary. It's a well vary, and that's fine. It's the wonderful world of diversity. There's a bazillion different strains out there, which is actually the annoying part. Is because once you find a strain that you like, it can be hard to get again. Because they change them all the time. The growers grow different ones because they're experimenting all the time. And they have a tendency to not focus on past successes. So, for whatever reason. Alright, so what else you got now? We did all that, what is THC versus CBD?
CBD versus THC. Okay, there we have a chart.
Ooh, a chart. Alright, here we go. There's a chart.
Okay, first is the source. CBD source is the aerial parts of the plant, the stalk, the leaves, and the flower. It can be derived from low THC hemp. But THC are just the leaves and flowering part.
Okay.
Okay, psychoactive effect. CBD, there is no high, but it can promote relaxation and reduce anxiety and depression.
Okay.
THC, euphoria, heightened senses, changes in time perception. That's always fun.
Yeah, and then you've got the medical relief. You got anti-seizure effects for CBD, pain relief, and inflammation. Can help with inflammation. While we've got the word I can't pronounce,
Tachycardia.
Thank you. No. Increased heart rate, increased appetite. So makes what makes you hungry. Legality. CBDs are legal, and THC is still not. Even though the technical legality of CBDs is still iffy some places. And the CBD can't be detected in the regular standard drug test. So there's the benefits to that. So essentially CBD is pure, unadulterated medicine of some form or another. And THC has a mix of benefits, depending upon what you're looking for, including recreational.
Yes.
CBD isn't going to give you anything recreational. It's just not. That's not what it's there for. All right, so Sativa versus Indica. So what do we got?
Well, it looks different for one thing. The Indica plants are shorter and thicker with broader leaves, and Sativa are taller and slimmer with longer leaves. To start with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the easy one. The buds are shaped differently. The smaller, rounder buds, and the Indica have the longer, skinnier ones. As a kind of a rule of thumb. That's another way to detect. Another thing to do is that Indica, as you're growing them, the Sativa plants look scrawnier. I guess is a way to describe it. They just kind of look scrawny.
They do. They're thinner.
Yeah, they look thinner. It's okay. So what's next? I can't see this one. So you're leading this one.
Okay. Well, Sativa cultivators recommend taking sativa strains during the daytime hours to boost creativity and energy, as well as reduce negative psychological elements such as anxiety and depression.
Mm.
Indica strains have a higher CBD count and lower THC counts than their sativa counterparts. Did not know that. The more skunky, pungent weed strains, many people say they smell like cheese, improve the uptake of dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter responsible for overseeing our body's pain and reward centers. Indicas can decrease acute pain, inflammation, and nausea while increasing appetite and mental tranquility.
Cool. All right, but again, you can find out there's more for that. The question is finding the right one for you. It's finding the right strain, finding the right mix. And again, the frustrating part of it's still frustrating is once you find a strain, it's hard to find it again. In the modern, it was hard back in the day, and it's still hard because they change strains so often.
Yes, they do. Growers are fickle.
Yeah, growers are fickle. You know, they like to experiment. They're stoners. Come on, they're creative. They're creative stoners, and they get to play with pot plant. They're out there having a good time. They're living their dream. You know, it's hard to blame them. But as the user, no, just could you go back and just grow me some of the basics, please? That's what I wanted. I don't want derivatives. I want the original. But then again, I'm just getting old, and I'm like an old man saying, "Get off my lawn," you know, snappers. So you know, I should probably not say too much about that. So, all right. So, hey, we're right on schedule for our dive into Reddit. Lubby took another dive into Reddit, well, a couple weeks ago now, so none of these questions are going to be relevant. But, hey, they're still interesting.
Yes.
You know, and, you know, it's never really about the specific question. It's about the general question. We use them as an example. Okay, so what do we got? We got the first ones. You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
We've been dating for about a year and a half. I'm a female, 23, and when we met, I was 124 pounds. I now weigh 180 pounds, and I'm only 5'3", so I definitely have gained a decent amount. My boyfriend still tells me I look skinny to him and I shouldn't worry, but I've never been with a guy who openly appreciates me gaining weight. So what do y'all think about it?
Well, that's easy. That's called rose-colored glasses, and he only sees you for what he sees you. And he's changed over time. It doesn't matter what he thinks. You know you've put on weight. You're unhappy about it because you're expressing it here. So the choice is to do something. It doesn't matter what we think. It doesn't matter what your boyfriend thinks. You would be asking the question on Reddit if you didn't know that if your weight wasn't bothering you, and you didn't know somewhere inside of you that you want to deal with it. And at this point, you're looking for validation one way or the other. You're either looking for a push to get you to lose some weight, which is what you should get. You know, it's a tough place. Your boyfriend can't tell you that you're looking fat. He can't do it. Even if he sees it, which he may not, because rose-colored glasses, it means he really loves you, and he just doesn't see it. But you know the truth. You can look in a mirror. You know if your clothes still fit. You know if you're unhappy. That's what you need to focus on. Accept that he loves you for who you are. And then he's willing to accept whatever change, physical and growth, emotional, human growth that you're going through. Appreciate that. And then do what you need to do. Because you wouldn't be asking the question if you didn't know what you need to do.
He obviously loves her very much.
Well, or is afraid to lose her, but my guess is it's the other way around.
And there is a third option.
What's that?
He may be attracted to larger women. It may be his thing.
Well, then he wouldn't have been attracted to her to begin with. She was 124 pounds. Now she's put on 50 pounds and he didn't notice.
I'm just saying.
Possible. It's possible he doesn't mind. Possible he loved her skinny and loves her big, but whatever she's comfortable with is the question.
It's the key.
It's the key.
Yeah.
And if she's not comfortable with it, otherwise she wouldn't have asked the question. So, all right, what's next?
I, 21-year-old male, the other night with my girlfriend, 21, and I are lying in bed. I go to set the alarms on her phone for her to be able to wake up for work on time as I do every night. And as I'm doing so, I see my ex text her and me my ex text her. And me being curious, I've never been one to peep through someone's phone, but my ex messaging my girlfriend? I figured I'd check this one out. I opened the text message. I read her message and see there's quite a few others. And to my surprise, I see texts about my chest. I have gyno, and it's something I've always been conscious about, and my hairline, and my sexual kinks, and other things like my family, and how they're a total train wreck. Anyways, back to the point at hand. My current girlfriend doesn't know I saw the text, but I don't know what to do. She always comforts me when I'm insecure, but to find this out just hurts. I want to distance myself, but I've been with her for over a couple years now, and I still love her. I don't know if I should confront her or leave it.
Okay, here's the question. What are you confronting her about? Bet she's having a conversation with someone who happens to be your ex, and they're talking about you. It didn't sound like it was necessarily a bad conversation. You're just upset that she's talking with your ex. But what are you afraid of? That's the question. What, is your ex-girlfriend going to steal your current girlfriend? I don't think that's really your issue. And they already understand all your problems. Maybe she just wants to know. Maybe she's thinking about wanting to be very serious, and so she's doing her due diligence as a modern woman. Doing a background check, so to speak. Asking, hey, what were your experiences? Checking it against hers, making sure you're consistent. I don't think there's anything to confront her over. And if you do confront her over it, you're going to have to admit that you were looking at her text messages, which makes you a jackass. So, guess what? And you're never going to live that one down. So, which battle do you want to fight? Because that's the one you're going to end up fighting. Take it from someone who's been married 3 times now. Well, that's the one you'll end up fighting. So, which battle do you want to fight? Battle inside your head, or a battle over you peeking through text messages that you shouldn't be looking through? Accidentally seeing one because you're setting an alarm. It's fine. You accidentally see it. Peeking, going through it, crosses the line. Now, if you feel the need to discuss it with her, not confront, discuss it with her, that's how you bring it up. Hey, I was setting an alarm on your phone and I saw this text and I shouldn't have done it, but I went and looked through. I'm sorry, but now I'm feeling insecure over the conversations. Can you? And see where it goes.
Can we talk about this?
Yeah. And you're going to have to figure out why you're feeling insecure over the conversation. That's the question. That's the question you're going to have to answer if you're going to go and have that conversation. But the conversation wouldn't hurt if you do it properly. It'll either let you know where your relationship stands, and have a choice to make, one way or the other. My guess is it would be a good thing, but that's only a guess. But, again, don't confront, because it's not a confront. You can't win in a relationship. The thing is to make your relationship better. So whatever you do, do it with focus on making a relationship better. Start with that. Okay, what's next?
The girl I've been quote unquote involved with off and on brings chocolates, calls me sexy, and watches smut with me, but apparently is in a relationship. Is this cheating?
Well, it depends on the boundaries of her other relationship. You don't know. You can ask her about it. It's the only way you're going to find out. And are you bothered by it? Do you want the exclusive relationship? Her other relationship may not be exclusive. Now, whether we think that's a good idea or not is not relevant, but it may or may not be. And you clearly haven't defined your relationship by being exclusive, because you would have said something. Unless something on the Reddit that you remember.
No, nothing. It was just that.
Yeah. Well,
very short and sweet.
So whether it's cheating is entirely dependent upon the boundaries of her other relationships. Put an S at the end of that. Because my guess is she's got more than two. It's a modern world. Yeah. Hey. It's no judgment. I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah.
Why not? Do what you want.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying it's possible, and you're only going to find out by bringing it up or not. Or if you're happy with a non-committed relationship and it's none of the rest of it's none of your business, then the rest of it's none of your business. You're going to have to make that choice, what you're comfortable with. Okay, good, because it's really about you. All right, what else you got? Next, parenting. Woohoo, yay!
Okay, here we go. At what age do you safely leave your kids home alone at night?
Well, home alone at night, how many kids? There's what kind of area you live in. Do you have a next door neighbor who's kind of keeping an eye on them? There's various issues that can be involved in that.
And it severely depends upon the child.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't think there's some children at one age can be perfectly fine, and a different child at a different age, even in the same household, same age, might not be. You might have one child who's perfectly responsible at 13 years old, and another one who at 13 years old you wouldn't leave them alone for 10 minutes in a rubber room. Sometimes these things happen. And so there's no set answer. You're going to have to make difficult choices. But 13, 14 is probably somewhere in the neighborhood. You get a little younger than that, and they're going to have to be exceptionally responsible, I would think. And the modern times are different than when we grew up, when we raised kids, so it may be different. But whether that's a good or a bad thing is up for you to decide. All right, what's next?
I'm considering taking my son to our local library. He's 1.5. He's really interested in books, and I'd like to foster that love as early as possible, since I love to read to him from an early age as well. I've looked at our library's website, but I'm just not sure how much there is for his kids' age. I'm also looking to get out of the house and do something fun, and preferably free with air conditioning. What age did you take your children to the library, and did they enjoy it?
Well, at 1.5, them just going somewhere that's new and exciting with lots of different stuff, and like here, you may have, depends on the library branch. Different library branches have different kind of focus, but the main library has a children's area, and so if you have the big main library of your area, there's usually a children's area.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but take them to the library. They don't care. They're 1.5. They don't care where they are. They don't know that they're at a library.
In different libraries, some libraries will have children's story reading hour.
Yeah, but
yeah.
but the trip it's the journey that's the important part, not the destination at 1.5.
I got my girls used to borrowing books early.
Yeah, well, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying what the important part of this is the fact that you're taking your 1.5-year-old out and engaging in the world around them. That's the value. At 1.5, there are no books, the library. It's a building is a building. A book is just a thing, an object. But you're exposing them to a wide variety of places and people and objects, and that's the important part. It's not the book itself at this age. It's the experiences. So yes, take them to the library. Knock them out. Just be prepared for a short visit. That's that's a half hour in and out. Acclimation, because you'll again get bored. You'll either get bored or overstimulated. So you prepare for shorter visits. Maybe an hour if it's on a good day, hour and a half. Yeah. All right. So what's next?
Okay, my daughter is super attached to me and pushes my wife away. When they're alone, my daughter snuggles up to her and loves her. When I'm with them, my daughter will snuggle with me and push my wife away. Sometimes she will do this thing when I'm snuggling with my daughter, or my wife touches her leg or gives her a kiss on the head or whatever. My daughter will rub that spot and go, ow, as if it hurt her. She will show me the spot to get a kiss on it and make it better. This is a disclaimer. I know my wife isn't hurting our daughter behind my back or anything like that. My wife is the sweetest thing and would never hurt a fly. Curious, what is going on with our daughter?
Nothing. It's perfectly natural. Daughters get attached to their fathers like that, and sons get attached to their mothers in a similar fashion. It's just nature. It just is what it is. That's why they call them daddy's girls and mama's boys. You never heard of a mama's girl and a daddy's boy? It's not a thing. No one hears of it. It just sounds weird because we don't say it. But mama's boy and a daddy's girl, yeah, it's just nature. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Actually, the worst thing you could do is to worry about it and push it and make it a thing. Don't make it a thing. The relationship is fine. Yeah, she's just a daddy's girl. It's okay.
Enjoy.
Yeah, you've won one. Woohoo! Because there's going to be few of those in your marriage. Trust me on that. So you get one on your chalkboard. Well, don't keep scores, but you know what I mean. For the love of God, don't keep scores in your relationships. But you know what I mean. You get one in your side. Just saying. Enjoy the victory. Well, you know what I mean. Enjoy the success. There you go. You done good. That's what that means. All right, so what's next?
Work.
Oh, work. Woohoo! All right.
I just got fired from a corporate job, and I've only been at for 3 months. The company was terrible. My team was constantly a mess. I tried so hard, but unfortunately was never properly trained. During my interview, I told them I didn't have years of experience, but they went on to hire me and then not actually train me. I'm feeling so upset and scared that no one will hire me now. I'm such a hard worker, but have a learning disability, so I struggle without guidance. I really need some reassurance right now. Thanks.
Well, if it was a toxic work culture and they didn't properly train you for the job, you didn't want to work there anyway. And you don't actually have to use it. It was only there for 3 months. You don't have to use it as a reference. It doesn't have to go on your resume. No one on the planet has to know you worked there. If you really don't want to put it on there, you don't have to. Just go back on like it never existed. And you're allowed to do that. You get to write what's on your work experience, and you fill that shit out yourself. You can ask, is lying by omission lying? As long as you're actively lying on work experience, it's fine. Because what you're filling out is relevant work experience. And if you didn't learn anything and you just kind of wasted 3 months, then you didn't get any relevant work experience. So, and don't worry about it. Just keep on plugging them and keep going. Because what else are you going to do? Yeah. But next time, when you go to do a job interview, understand that you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. Anyway, go to YouTube, look for Life After Layoff, search Life After Layoff. There's a guy who does a lot of YouTube videos on searching for jobs and job searching. And put it this way, you got out of a bad situation, now you have a chance to look at it as an opportunity to find a situation that respects your needs. And you can find a place that will give you the support for you to be successful so you can help them be successful. Okay, what's next?
My boss CC'd HR in an email today. In the email, he absolutely ripped me a new one and criticized my ability to be detail-oriented when reviewing his edits. I did prior to this, but the document I thought I sent him was not the one I edited. Computer issue. I don't want to argue because it won't make the situation better, but I think the email was rather out of pocket, especially since he tactily threatened firing me in the email. What's weird is that he spoke highly of me and my work in a mid-year review and noted how I was great for the culture and provide added value to our clients. Anyways, I believe our relationship has reached an untenable point, and I'm thinking of jumping ship before I get a bad mark on my resume. Is that smart? Should I stick it out? Only been there a year.
Well, you don't have to fight. You just send them the proper edited thing. Said, yep, sorry, I sent you the wrong one. Had a problem. Accidentally sent you the wrong one. You send it in, and you let those things deal with themselves. Now, whether it's time to jump ship or not is whether you have something else lined up and your needs and all that other questions. You know, do you enjoy your job? Is it an environment overall environment you want to work in? Is it just this one guy who's a pain in the butt? You know, those are different questions. There's whether it should leave the job is a much deeper, bigger question. This is actually easy to fix. It's an easy fix. You send them the corrected document and you say, apologize for sending the wrong one. It's the easiest fix on the planet. And he's probably upset because he needed that and he counted on you in getting the editing done. And it's one of those, the one times he didn't trust your work is he needed to trust your work. And so he got reamed out. And that's how these things happen. That's how disasters happen. So all you can do is clean it up. And how you clean it up is just as important as making a mistake. So there's no need to fight. You just say, here's the proper document. I attached the wrong one. My apologies. And you be careful, more careful next time. To not send, to check, make sure you sent the right document. You know, that's the way to deal with it. And let the chips fall where they may, because they're going to fall there anyway. All right. Next one.
At the midway point of the fiscal year, I unexpectedly received an offer from an outside company. It came with a major increase in salary. I was forthcoming with my boss. I said I was contemplating making the move. As a counter, they offered a decent lump sum retention bonus, so I decided to stay. Fast forward 7 months. It's the end of the year appraisal time, and I'm getting a rating of meets expectations and a raise of 4.5. What? Excuse me? Meets expectations? 4.5% raise?
Well, you took a bonus instead of a salary increase. What did you expect was going to happen? Now, you can go negotiate for another bonus. another retention bonus. But if you don't have another job in your pocket, they're not going to do it. They told you what they thought of you. They didn't want to pay you salary, but they're willing to pay you a retention bonus. So you're valuable short term, but you're not valuable long term. To them, that's literally what they told you. That's what that was telling you. It's the difference between a bonus and a salary increase. Salary means your salary is increasing forever over the course of time as long as you're employed. And a bonus is, here's a one-time thing so you don't leave. It was just to keep you there. It wasn't to keep you happy. So now your choices are, what? Go back to the other people and see if the job's still there? It won't be, but you can try. Now, maybe the other job wouldn't have worked out. We've just seen, a guy who got fired after 3 months, right? Or not all jobs work out. Maybe you're still better off. But that's a decision you're going to have to deal with. But you made the choice when you accepted the bonus instead of a salary increase. And you bought in this that it's the middle of the fiscal year, so they couldn't change your salary, which is BS because they were able to give you a bonus, which comes out of the same pot of money. So, anyway, become better at your negotiating for yourself and understanding what they're actually saying when they make an offer like that. Because if they really wanted to keep you long term, they would have upped your salary, not just offered you a bonus. Okay, that's for future reference, and for now, you're just going to have to figure it out, what you're going to do. And I can't help you with that, because I don't have enough information on your life and what you want, how unhappy you are, whether you like your job, love your job, or tolerate your job. Yeah? All right. Uh-oh, sex. And we've at the last few minutes, we're going to have to blow through these. All right, so what do we got?
I'm a girl who likes girls. Lesbian. I've never been sexual with anyone, but there are things in certain girls that are an instant attraction to me. I don't know why, but I only feel attracted to girls who are thick, taller than me, dominant, and stronger than me. I'm a petite girl, 5 feet, 97 pounds. So it isn't hard to find a girl my age. I don't know why, but some part of my stupid brain goes, holy shit, yes, when I'm around girls like that. I thought of her manhandling me and pinning my wrists down, choking me, not to death or passing out, and pulling my hair makes me feel like I'm melting. Should I be worried? Is this weird? Am I weird for this? There's nothing new under the sun, hon.
No, welcome to the world of human sexuality. That's about the only thing I had to say. There's nothing weird about it. You've got, you're part of the human sexual spectrum, and you have certain things that, are stronger triggers for that sexuality than others. And as long as you find a partner who's kind of the opposite of your trigger, and you like their company, then all is gravy, right? That's kind of how life works. Think of it like this: it's a way to help you select your long-term romantic partner. Yeah. You get to weed out all the people who aren't like that. It narrows the playing field for you. You're not going to be happy with the 300-pound dude, right? So you're not going to be happy with the 300-pound dude. So you want a 5'7", woman athlete. Knock yourself out. It limits what you're looking for. But what I do have to say is, when love strikes, it's not always what you expect.
Yes, indeed.
Sometimes the proclivities will take a back seat to human connection. And so don't turn down a human connection because your proclivities don't match. You can often find a way through that. Love finds a way. All right. So what's next?
Okay, we're going to skip one. We're going to go to the last one.
Why, is that one too long or something?
Yeah, it's too long.
All right.
My girlfriend and I, 16, want to have sex with each other, but not sure if it's too early in our relationship.
It is.
We've been talking for 6 months, but dating officially for 2. Will it ruin our relationship if we have sex this early? We are both virgins. We talk about how we want to have sex with each other a lot, and both agreed that we want to. But just the fact that we think it could ruin our relationship is stopping us.
Well, it can ruin your relationship. It's always a possibility. Whether it will or not is an open question. And the question is, do you want to take that risk along with all the others that come with it? Now you're 16. You're right at the age where these kind of decisions are made. And I'll tell you this. It doesn't kill you to wait. Just feels like it. Doesn't kill you to wait. But it could kill you to do it too soon. Literal. Pregnancies go bad. You can go down a road where you end up with multiple partners and STDs, and there's all kinds of different things. Once you start down that path, it can lead to wonderful and terrible things. Sometimes at the same time. And so, my thing is if you're still questioning it, then the answer is that you're not ready. Otherwise, you wouldn't be questioning. And I congratulate your level-headedness. The fact that you're thinking this through, and discussing it, and talking about it, and not jumping through, not listening to your hormones, listening to your heads, listening to your brains. I applaud you. When you guys decide you're ready, you will really be ready. 6 months, a year, you're 17, it's meaningless. You're 16, 17, it's meaningless. 6 months. It won't hurt. To
Okay,
wait.
but what about doing things other than intercourse?
Well, I'm assuming they've already done that. I'm assuming they've gone farther than...
I'm not.
Well, no, they seem pretty level-headed, just by the way they're discussing it. I'm kind of assuming they've done the heavy petting thing and all that kind of stuff. And so, whether you should go... Then the question is, do they go farther than that? And the answer for me would be no, until you're actually sure you're ready. And they're not, because they're still discussing it.
Yes.
If you're afraid that it's going to ruin their relationship, then don't take the chance. Why add that risk along with all the others? Because it's Pandora's box. You can't close it. So that would be my thing. Is wait as long as you realistically can. There's no hurry.
And you remember your first time forever.
Well, and there's no hurry.
There is no hurry, no.
You know, it's just like there's no shame in having sex early age, and it's not and there's no shame in waiting until you feel prepared, emotionally and physically. If you don't feel emotionally and physically prepared, then the answer is you wait. And the fact that your guys are willing to wait is a good sign that you will be ready sooner rather than later. The people who aren't ready are the ones who just barrel into it. So, so it's just one of those things. All right. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. We want to thank Lubby for putting together the show. And we'll see you all next Saturday. For me and Lubby, we want to thank you for... Oh, I already did that. Good night. And please remember to love everybody.
Good night.